Fatigue is a feeling of constant tiredness or weakness. It can be mental, physical, or both. Although fatigue is constant, it can ebb and flow, giving you good days and bad days. But as a general rule, it interferes with your ability to perform day-to-day tasks. You're listening to Menopause Natural Solutions. This is episode 163. Midlife fatigue. Welcome to Menopause Natural Solutions, your podcast for all things perimenopause, menopause and beyond. Stay tuned as your host, Naturopath Jennifer Harrington, explains how to use natural therapies to find your ultimate health and happiness during your transition. Hello, and thank you for your company today. I'm your host, Jen, and I'm excited to tell you this week is Natural Medicine Week here in Australia. And I'm doing my part to help promote it by running an online workshop on Wednesday night focused on midlife fatigue. I've spent today getting ready for it, and I've decided to share part of the workshop with you. The link is in the show notes if you'd like to join me for the entire workshop. The workshop will include an explanation of what's going on and why, followed by a section on relevant testing to rule in and out various causes, followed by my favourite part, the solutions, which nutrients are often helpful, and lifestyle changes that promote better energy levels, finishing with the creation of an action plan to help you feel more energized. So now here is some of the explanation about what is happening and why. Fatigue is a symptom. It's not a disease itself, but it can be an indication that something more serious may be going on. To reduce the sensation of fatigue, you first need to consider what your personal underlying cause or causes are and correct these first. A few of the common causes of fatigue include poor mitochondrial function, impaired cellular health, hormonal changes, adrenal dysfunction, thyroid dysfunction, poor sleep, blood sugar imbalances, chronic inflammation, digestive issues, toxicity and impaired liver function, cardiovascular issues, respiratory issues, immune issues such as chronic viral infections, mood disorders, nutritional deficiencies. You can see it's a long list, and it's not relevant for everyone, but it is important to consider all of these in case they are part of your symptom picture. Fatigue can happen at any stage of life, but it is a common issue at midlife, especially with changing hormone levels and the increased demands of life. The Evernow study, which looked at 100,000 women, the largest ever menopause study, found that 81.5% of midlife women experience fatigue. Like, wowzers, that's just too high. Plus, fatigue doesn't occur by itself. It likes company and is often joined by these other symptoms like poor motivation, inability to concentrate, impaired decision-making, reduced memory and cognitive abilities, poor coordination, sleepiness, irritable moods, headaches, dizziness, appetite changes, and the list goes on. So let's look at how the body creates energy without getting too sciencey. The Krebs cycle is a metabolic pathway that occurs from within the mitochondria. This converts nutrient molecules from food into energy. Do you remember the good old mitochondria from high school biology? Think of it as the powerhouse of the cell. Every cell contains between 500 and 5,000 mitochondria. This is where your main form of energy, adenosine triphosphate or ATP, is made. The Krebs cycle requires these nutrients to produce ATP. Vitamin B1, B2, B3, B5, and lipoic acid. These additional nutrients are cofactors in the production of ATP, or they help promote better functioning of the mitochondria in general. CoQ10, vitamin A, vitamin B6, B9, B12, vitamin C, D, and E. The amino acids carnitine and taurine. Omega-3, the electrolytes, sodium, potassium, magnesium, and calcium, and minerals, selenium, zinc, iron, copper, manganese, and the antioxidant glutathione. So you can see that nutritional deficiencies can really slow the production of ATP and leave you feeling exhausted. But more on that in the workshop. Cellular health. Each cell in your body, and there are about 37 trillion of them, contain a cellular membrane. Within the cell, you have different organelles, such as the mitochondria, which we just discussed. These organelles also have cellular membranes. The mitochondria actually has two cellular membranes, the inner and the outer membrane, making cellular health doubly important for the health of your powerhouse mitochondria cells. Think of cellular membranes as cellular brains, as they control a lot of what is happening for the cell or the organelle. They allow nutrients in, toxins out. They are also a storehouse for fuel. They provide structure and a communication channel. You must have a properly functioning cellular membrane if you want healthy, happy cells or organelles. Hormonal change. Perimenopause is when your ovaries start preparing for retirement. This is a time of change, and during this time, your levels of ovarian hormones such as estrogen, progesterone, and testosterone also change. As these hormones dance with the other hormones, a change here can have a snowball effect on all other hormones. You see, no hormone works in isolation. The main hormones impacted here are from the adrenals and the thyroid. But this is actually a three-way street, where changes in levels of either ovarian, adrenal, or thyroid hormones interacts and complicates production and usage of the other hormones. Adrenal glands are often linked with stress, as they produce your stress hormones, adrenaline and noradrenaline. These hormones are needed for your fight or flight stress response. They also produce adrenaline, which controls your sleep-wake circadian rhythm, which is also part of your stress response. Then there is aldosterone, which plays a major role in regulating your electrolytes, your pH balance, and blood pressure. Have you noticed your blood pressure increases with stress? It can also increase due to lower estrogen levels, impacting on your aldosterone response. Finally, we have the adrenal androgens, such as DHEA. These are precursor substances for the production of testosterone and estrogen after the ovaries have retired. When your adrenal glands aren't optimally working, you are easily stressed. Sleep becomes a problem. Add to this an electrolyte imbalance, and you get to experience the sensation of fatigue. But this is where stress management techniques, electrolyte replenishment, and adrenal nutrients and herbal tonics can make a world of difference. And more on that in the workshop. Your thyroid gland regulates your body's metabolic rate. Your metabolic rate refers to the amount of energy your body needs to maintain itself. Think of the thyroid gland as like a spark plug. It ignites the body to produce energy. Without a well-tuned thyroid, you will definitely experience changes in your energy levels. Thyroid dysfunction is unfortunately very common in midlife women. Roughly 1 in 12 perimenopausal women have issues here, and this increases to 1 in 6 for postmenopausal women. When it comes to thyroid health, this is an area I highly encourage thorough testing, and if your results indicate an issue here, please work one-on-one with a healthcare practitioner to help you optimize its function. Sleeping issues. Looking at the Evernow study again, they found that 78.6% of women experience sleep disruptions, and poor sleep certainly can promote fatigue. So how does hormonal change affect sleep? Having lower levels of estrogen and progesterone, which for the menstruating women happens during menstruation, and for postmenopausal women it's the entire month, is linked with reduced melatonin levels and poorer sleep. Melatonin is a sleep hormone. Studies have indicated 4 different ways that lower hormones impact sleep. 1. Lower melatonin levels reduce total sleep time, reducing deep sleep, increasing the time taken to get to sleep, and also increasing the number of times you wake during the night. 2. Hormonal changes alter your sleep architecture. This is how you move through sleep cycles. 3. Lower hormone levels increase the risk of sleep-disordered breathing, such as sleep apnea. 4. Hormonal change can promote night sweats and increase the total number of sleep interruptions experienced throughout the night. So please note, not all women experience sleep disturbances at midlife. It is not an inevitable part of life. Often women find that sleep was something that came easily to them before, but now it's something they have to work for. There are so many dietary and lifestyle factors that play significant roles in improving sleep. Testing for sleep apnea, though, is something that I highly recommend for all women experiencing fatigue to consider. Cardiovascular health. Estrogen plays a protective role in the health of our heart and cardiovascular system. As our estrogen levels start to decline, our risk of cardiovascular complications increases. The job of the cardiovascular system is to transport oxygen, nutrients, and hormones around the body while removing waste products. Fatigue can be a sign of cardiovascular issues as less blood and nourishment are circulating through your body. It can also occur as waste products aren't being adequately removed. It's interesting to note that our heart contains the largest concentration of mitochondria, about 5,000 mitochondria per cell. So nutrients that are needed for mitochondrial health are also great for benefiting the heart. It's 2 birds with 1 stone. By increasing the health of these powerhouses, you improve the health of your heart and an ability of the cardiovascular system to supply the goods. So guys, I have gone through about half of the causes of midlife fatigue. If you like to hear the rest, you'll have to join me on the workshop. I really do hope you join in, as I love to get to meet some more of you. But I understand it can also be the middle of the night. Time zones might not work out. And in this case, the replay will be available for you if you want to watch it at a later point. Well, that's it for me. I hope you enjoy Natural Medicine Week. Until next time, bye for now. Thank you for listening to Menopause Natural Solutions. This podcast contains general information about menopause. It is provided as a guide, and it is not intended to replace medical advice. Opinions of guests are their own, and this podcast does not endorse or accept responsibility for statements made by guests. If you have enjoyed today's episode, please share it with a friend.